We continue our reading of Lest We Forget, a daily devotional by author George R. Knight. Today's reading, November 22. Rethinking Church Organization, Part 1. The word of God increased, and the number of the disciples multiplied in Jerusalem greatly. Acts 6:7. Growth is generally a good thing, but in churches, it has traditionally called for rethinking the structures that allow a religious body to perform its function. So it was in Acts 6, when change led to the appointment of deacons. Seventh-day Adventism has experienced dynamic growth ever since its inception. The period from 1863 up through 1900 saw unprecedented expansion of the denomination, partly because of its organization. Adventism entered that period with 6 conferences and 30 evangelistic staff, all located in the northeastern quarter of the United States. The denomination exited that time span with 45 local conferences and 42 missions, with 1,500 evangelistic staff spread around the world. Beyond growth in the conference area, the denomination's institutional sector also rapidly developed. Between 1888 and 1901 alone, the number of major medical institutions jumped from 2 to 24, ending with some 2,000 employees. By 1903, the denomination could report 464 Adventist schools, from elementary to collegiate, employing 687 teachers and having an enrollment of 11,145. In addition to health and educational institutions, an ever-increasing number of publishing houses had been operating around the world. That unprecedented expansion in all sectors of the church brought about an administrative situation that the 1863 organizational format was ill-prepared to handle. Most people seemed to be pleased with the 2 levels above the local congregation structure, but they soon developed certain inherent problems. One was the centralization of decision-making in the few individuals that formed the small executive committee of the General Conference, never more than 8 members, before 1897, when it changed to 13, and that seldom met. Thus, most major decisions fell on the denomination's president. It didn't help matters that James White and George I. Butler had tendencies to dominate anyway. Thus, a perpetual problem with the 1863 structure was that it lent itself to what Ellen White repeatedly referred to as kingly powers. By 1900, nearly everybody recognized the need for change. This concludes our reading today of Lest We Forget.